Hello, this is Ariella Carmel, and I'm at Calcalist's e-commerce events in Tel Aviv. I'm joined by Yaron Shapira, the CEO of 8fig. Thank you for joining me, Yaron.
Thank you so much, Ariana.
So can you start off by telling me a bit about 8fig?
Yeah, in 8fig we are helping small e-commerce businesses. We are helping them to grow. We are doing this by using our technology, an AI-CFO technology, that is helping them to build their cash flow plans correctly. And once we are able to help them to build the right business plan, the right cash flow plan, we also give them funding in order to execute these plans.
Interesting. And what would you say separates you or differentiates you from other competitors in the market?
Yeah, so most of the players today in the market are mainly focused on the financing piece, which is very important, of course, but we believe in 8fig that this is not the full story. So just providing the cash is important, but if you do not create a cash flow plan, if you do not create the planning, not for the next 3 months, not just for the holiday season, but for the full next year, you are missing a very important part of their challenges. So what we did is to combine technologies that is doing the planning, AI technology like the AI-CFO, and then combining it with the funding, and together we give the merchants a real complete solution.
I see. Now, could you speak a bit to emerging trends within the market of e-commerce, where you see the market going?
Yeah, so I think the most interesting thing that happened in the e-commerce market in the last few years is obviously the COVID. So 2020, like we saw a rise, like a significant rise in consumers' consumptions of goods in general, because there was a lot of money available, but also specifically online. So the e-commerce business became more easygoing. It was much easier to operate there. So it was awesome. And the growth was awesome. So everything was blossom and everything was cool. But when we are looking now into the future, 2023 and then 2024, taking into account the macroeconomic, which is unstable, we are not sure where is it going. So we expect growth to be back to, let's call it normal. So let's say 10 to 14, 15% growth per year, which is awesome, but it's not as crazy as like 30, 35, 40% like in COVID. So during market, which is not expanding so fast and so big every year, it means that the competition that the small merchants experience is much more than it was in the past. It requires them to be more professionals in order to be successful in what they are doing.
So maybe on that point, can you speak to what investors are looking for specifically in emerging companies in the market, what companies need to do to be profitable, be successful?
Yeah, so I think that investors, this is very similar to what it was during ever, is they are looking for businesses that have the opportunity to be very successful and to operate in a scale, which is relevant for companies like us, which focus on technology, where scale is the most important part, but also for the merchants themselves, because they also enable scaling, because they are selling online. Let's say they are selling on Amazon, they are selling on Shopify, or WooCommerce, or whatever platform that they are using. So they have the opportunity to sell in scale. So this is what investors are looking for. And investors are trying to see if you, in your business, if you have the edge, that you can make it, what others cannot do. So the edge that I think that we are bringing to the market is the technology edge. The fact that we are able to use AI, we are working today on hundreds of thousands of data points from the merchants that we are serving, that enable our AI to be very focused and very successful in helping them to plan their businesses.
And so what are your goals moving forward in terms of innovation, expansion, anything that you're focused on in particular?
Yeah. So what we really want to do in 8fig wants to help let's call it the small e-commerce sellers. I'm talking about businesses which are 2, 3, 4, 10, 15 people, very small businesses. We want them to be successful and to grow. Now, the challenges that they are going to face is the market, as we discussed earlier, and it's also the big brands which are getting into it like very significantly, and the big brands won on commerce. We want in the e-commerce, we want the small businesses to be super successful. Like you can call it, we want to democratize e-commerce. We want to enable the small businesses to succeed. And we think that using our AI-CFO technology and using the funding that we provide them, they are able now to professionally compete with the big corporates. So this is the goal that we are seeing for us for the next 2-3 years.
I see. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ada. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.